What's up, guys? Brandon Franklin, your Swole Ox online trainer, talking today about how to maximize growth in your calves and everything you need to know to maximize the calf development to the fullest. If you want to learn more, stick around. Glad you guys could join me for another video. We're going in depth on calf training, the functions behind everything, all the calf movements, and how to train every single one separately and how to do it the most effectively. So we got to start out with the functions of the calf. So I got an anatomy chart right here. So we're talking about the gastrocnemius, which is going to be that big heart-shaped muscle, which you see on the outside, and then underneath it is the soleus. So even though you see this little bit of what I labeled, it actually goes all the way underneath the gastrocnemius. So the soleus is going to be underneath that gastroc. The bigger you make the soleus, the more it pushes out the gastroc and gives it the optical illusion that you have bigger calves than you actually do. We got to look at the functions, right? So what is plantar flexion? Think of if you plant your foot onto the ground. Plantar flexion is when you take your toe and you push it forward. Think of a ballerina, they're on their tippy toes, that's plantar flexion. Then dorsiflexion is going to be the exact opposite. So if we aren't pushing our toes away from us, instead we're pulling our toes towards us, right? So we're really pulling those toes, and that's going to activate that tibialis anterior. That's what you see on people that have really developed calves. I'll pop up a picture of, let's say, Mountain Dog, of him doing tibialis anterior contractions onto that calf, and that is going to be able to get both of those functions of the calf. And then we got to move into how to train them exactly. So we got to start out with the soleus, because loads of research you hear online, and you can actually notice this, is when you start focusing on your soleus, which is going to be that underlying muscle, it grows your calves exponentially, because that's where all the mass is held. That's where you have the most room for growth. It's about 60% of that calf development is going to be from the soleus, and the bigger you get the soleus, the more that gastroc pops out of that calf, and the more the calf starts popping out, gives it that 3D look. And who doesn't want big calves, right? So we got to look at 2 exercises how to exactly train the soleus. So first we're going to look at the donkey calf raise. So that's where you basically go bend the hips at 90 degrees. You place all the weight onto your lower back. This is going to be kind of difficult if you don't have that donkey calf raise machine at your gym. I know that I personally have never done one of these, but you can do some variations where you put a barbell onto your lower back to exaggerate that stretch that you get at the bottom and contraction when you're coming up. What you see a lot more often is going to be the seated calf raise. So that's where you sit down, you have the pads right onto the knee, and all you gotta do is worrying about going up and down with the leg, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion, worrying about that stretching, getting both functions in there. So with the seated calf raise, a big thing and a huge tip I have for you guys that has really helped my calf training is when you come down, you let it stretch for about 1 to 2 seconds, right? You're coming up, and then you come up to where you usually go on the contraction. You come up, contract. Then from there, you think you can't go any higher, but you actually can. So I want you to just push it up. If it's just a millimeter, a centimeter more, that's what I want you to do. So you're coming down, you're coming up, and then you're really forcing the heel. Imagine driving that heel up to the sky as high as you can, almost to make, if you know your calves are cramping on you, you know you're doing it right. So you're coming up, contracting, and then you're making them cramp up almost, and you're gonna be seeing humongous gains from that because your calves are not used to being in that super contracted position, and that's why it's gonna hurt, but it's gonna help you with developing the calves because they are a very stubborn muscle group to build. And then we got the gastrocnemius. How to train that is gonna be anything where you're standing and you lock out your leg. So once you lock out your leg, you take out the soleus almost completely. Not completely, you still feel a little bit of it, but you shift the resistance onto that gastrocnemius. And then you're wondering, well, if the soleus is for mass, what does the gastrocnemius do? Once you develop the gastrocnemius, that's when you start to see the fibers come through. That's also caused by leanness, but if you want to see more definition and not so much mass, this is the way to go. So balancing the two and prioritizing your soleus training is going to get you the best results. So I would say if you're doing 8 sets total of calf training, do 6 sets on the soleus and 2 sets on the gastrocnemius. Good example right there. So we would be doing a standing calf raise, locking out the legs. You can do this on either a machine where you put the weight on your shoulders, get a barbell there, maybe even holding a dumbbell, 2 dumbbells, and then getting a nice stretch, contraction, plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. And same thing where I want you to come down, hold it for 2, come up, and then get that centimeter contraction a little higher, make them almost cramp up and really contract on that calf muscle. It's gonna hurt, but you're gonna reap the rewards afterwards. Now, another quick tip on if you're wondering how do I incorporate this into the workout, I would say if this is a lagging body part for you, I want you to do this in the beginning of your leg workout when you aren't tired and destroyed from squats, deadlifts, all your heavy compounds. Leave that after your calf training, and don't worry, you'll almost feel as strong as you did last time, but you're prioritizing your calf training, which is very important. And I see this tremendously with not only my personal training clients, but my online clients, where the calf is cramping up too much to where they can't even push themselves, and that's because your calves are too tight, people. You got to start stretching more. So an easy way to stretch and not have to wait after the workout and find time to stretch is just do it in between sets. So you do 1 set of a seated calf raise, and I want you to stretch your calves, find yourself a wall, and I'll pop up a video right here of someone stretching out their calves. I want you to do that for 30-45 seconds or however long you rest for in between your sets. I want you to stretch out both calves, and that will help eliminate that tightness, that cramping feeling. And the nice thing is this is called myofascia release. So you're really letting the muscle belly of the calves release, which is going to allow more blood flow, more nutrients, and let that oxygen really help rebuild the muscles, bring more nutrients to the muscles, provide a stronger contraction, and in turn lead to amazing gains. Awesome. So if you like this kind of content, comment below. Make sure to try it out. Comment below when you tried it out and how it worked for you. And make sure to subscribe to this channel. Turn on post notifications so you don't miss another video, because there are many more videos here to come talking about fitness, and I know you'll love them. All right, guys, see you in the next one.